All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another video for Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. This will be my third last review for this season, for the third last episode of the season. This is for episode 14. It is called Today and Tomorrow. Alright, and spoiler warning if you guys have not seen this episode yet for Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. So I was really happy after seeing this episode because, as we've been seeing for the second half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 5, there's only been maybe a few episodes here that are really that good, and most of the episodes have been either average or below average, I would say, for the season. So I'm really happy that after episode 13 they came back with another really good one with 14, and that leaves us with 2 episodes left for this season for Fear the Walking Dead, and then the season is over. So it went by pretty quick, I want to say, and it seems like they're kind of wrapping things up in kind of a good fashion here with just 2 episodes left after this one. So it's kind of unfortunate that the season 5 started off really good, I think. Up to the mid-season finale, it was really engaging. You saw some stuff there with Alicia and the others, really good. And then in this second half here, unfortunately, it feels like it's kind of just getting going, but now it's kind of over. So it sort of feels like a lot of this second half was just kind of like average to below average type of episodes. But luckily, I'm happy to see that this one was another good one. And so 13 and 14, I think, turned out to be really good this season. So in Today and Tomorrow, we focus on 2 pairs of our convoy group, which I guess is sort of unofficially led by Morgan. So we have Morgan and Althea as one of the pairs, and then we have Daniel and Grace. So it's kind of interesting. You only have those 4 survivors of the entire convoy of all the 30, however many they have now, if you count even the rabbi and everybody they've added on, and I guess if you're counting Wes as well too, because he's in there too. But for an episode that only had the 2 pairs of 2 small pairs of this bigger group in Fear, which I think they've had a lot of trouble this back half kind of balancing. The first half was kind of better, I think, in terms of that, but with adding on so many like Dwight and all the others that they've added, the new ones, they've had some trouble in this back half kind of focusing on where to go, who to follow, how many characters to include in each episodes. But for this one, surprisingly, even though you only had the 2 pairs, Morgan and Althea, Grace and Daniel, it was a great episode. I thought it was an awesome episode, one of the best they've done this season for sure, and it had some really good stuff for Morgan. It had some awesome stuff for Grace, which I was really surprised for. Some okay stuff for Althea, and also some great stuff for Daniel too that I almost never thought we would see in the entire series, which is Root and Blades get to actually do a singing scene, which I thought was really that was super cool to get to see that, because I'm trying to recall all these seasons of the series, all the episodes Daniel's been in. I don't think we've ever had him sing really. I can't recall any times when he did get to. So this was one with him and Grace that you got some really good kind of moments here. And of course we see near the end of the episode, Grace's health start to deteriorate from the looks of things. She looks really sick, and we don't know, how much longer she's going to survive. 2 episodes left. I would think it probably won't be very long. Now, this isn't really unexpected. Sort of at the beginning of the season, it was kind of set up that, she had been exposed to radiation. She wasn't sure how long she was going to get to survive. We weren't sure how long she was going to be, able to survive. I thought they might kind of switch it to where, she might seem to be okay after and kind of be a more long-running survivor, but maybe that's not the case. By the end of this episode here, that really looks like kind of what we're seeing. But I was really happy to see that she got some great moments just before that, and if these kind of are her last episodes, for kind of a character spotlight for her in this episode, I thought was really, really good. About as good as you're going to get for a 1-season type character, as we've had many of those in the original Walking Dead series and in Fear as well. But for her, I think, if she does not survive out this season, if she does succumb to the radiation poisoning by the end of the season, the last 2 episodes, and is killed off here, I feel like you really got that emotional impact out of it, and that she'll go down as a memorable character because she was one that, was a possible love interest for Morgan. And, it's kind of tragic that he wasn't able to kind of open up to her, but then finally when he did, it was kind of too late, and that's what we see in this episode. And I think that was really tragic and sad and touching and emotional, and so that's why I do think it is one of the better episodes they've done in this whole season. So love to get to see her and Daniel kind of do that, just singing, to do that. It was so cool, man, for both of them too, for Daniel as well too, because he's never gotten to do that so far as I can recall. And then for her, because her time might be limited, that was really cool to get to see Grace kind of share that moment with him. And then also the walkie-talkie part near the end there, when again Morgan's got this kind of epiphany that he realizes that he is kind of running away from, possible happy relationship here. Even Daniel, mentions to Grace that Morgan was smiling, and and that's not something we see Morgan do very often. I mean, from time to time, I guess. But it's nice to see that she was able to have that kind of impact on him, and she knew that before, kind of as things worsen near the end there, and it's kind of revealed in a good way where it's like she seems okay and everything seems all right, and then Morgan just decides that he's going to kind of pick up that phone and make the call or pick up the walkie-talkie and decide that okay, maybe he should do this. And then later on, it sounds like probably later, he might kick himself for not having opened up sooner, because then he would have gotten to spend more time with her before this whole thing kind of happened, and where we see it near the end. So I loved all of that stuff in the episode. I thought it was great. I really liked it for Grace because, again, she might not be here very, very much longer, so it gave her some very important moments for the series that she can be remembered for. If that is the way things go in these last two episodes, and also Daniel and Morgan as well too, and what does that do for Morgan in the future if she does die? Like the moment he's going to open up, and kind of maybe possibly take on a new relationship here or form a new relationship with Grace. It's just it's basically pretty much too late right at that moment, because she's already sick to the point where she can't even barely get up or move or anything like that. So I loved all of that stuff, and I thought that was definitely a highlight of the episode for me. And they had lots of good stuff for Morgan in this one. Beginning of the episode, again, they used the camera, Althea with her damn freaking camera, even though she goes into the place where you have the what do we call them now? The settlers or whatever, Virginia's group. And we find out from this is it Tom, this new Tom character, that they've kind of got this settlement in like a condominium, a homeowners association type of deal, and they've got like a pool and everything like this, and they're sitting pretty at the end of the world. It's pretty good for them, even though I do find kind of their accents to be a little bit gimmicky, or I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense based on their location. You could have people like that, but I just find it to be a little bit kind of over the top, and Virginia to be a little bit silly at times. But even the point where Althea's like going through and she's like filming all their stuff, and then they say that you can keep it and this kind of thing, and Althea reveals to Morgan that she wants to go through here and she wants to find out because she wants to see if maybe this could be connected somehow to Isabel. And then later when they're caught and you have Base by Virginia and they kind of are interviewed by her, sort of soft interview, nothing too serious. But she finds out that no, they don't have any helicopters or anything like that. So they're not directly affiliated with or connected to the Commonwealth so far as we know, or so far as we can see, or if it's not the Commonwealth, the group that took Rick and that Isabel was a part of, that Althea was kind of fell in love with earlier on in the season, or at least became interested in earlier on in the season. So some decent stuff for Althea there as well too, and then Morgan, talking about Jenny and Dwayne near the beginning of the episode was really good stuff. It felt like sort of therapeutic for him to kind of open up about that and about some of the things that they like to do, that Dwayne liked to do, and everything, and was some good stuff for him as well too. And again, that's one of the positive things about him sort of crossing over into Fear, is that we get to spend a little bit more time with him. We get to have him do these kinds of things that you wouldn't maybe have time for in the original Walking Dead series, which I think overall this has been a good experience for Lenny James to do this, and for Morgan as a character to get fleshed out more than he would have had time to in the original Walking Dead series. You're just not going to see stuff like that in the original Walking Dead, hardly, especially not for characters that have been there so long. It's very rare that you'd have that for someone like Morgan, so it's good stuff for Fear. So the Virginia stuff was good. They fixed his staff, I guess, which is kind of fun. It's sort of like, okay, you did, it's like you did something nice, but it's kind of weird as well too. But the preview for next week's looks really good. Morgan finds out, and Althea that they had killed Logan, and so that's kind of the way they do things. So obviously the groups do things differently. And the preview, I mean, we'll do video predictions after this video, but man, it looks really good because it looks like Morgan and the others kind of smart. I like this kind of direction, which is they didn't realize that you're taking on all these people, you're trying to help all these people, but as such, every single person needs food, they need water. If they're going to travel around, they need gas, or they need some method of transportation, horses or whatever. And, it looks like from the preview that maybe they're just kind of quickly ran out of almost everything because they're traveling around with this big, group, and everybody needs, their stuff and their necessities, and quickly you've run out of all these things. So now you might become kind of desperate, and you have Grace who's sick as well too that someone has to take care of. So emotionally that could be hurting to Morgan. And we only have 2 episodes left this season to see how this whole thing wraps up. So I would not be surprised if it sort of almost spills over into next season as well too, with Virginia and the others. Could we see something like Morgan and the group all get together and launch an assault at Virginia and the others? I don't know, man. That would be tricky. But there was some cool stuff in this one as well too, with Althea and Morgan kind of sneaking in, which reminded me sort of like maybe something like Woodbury with season 3 of the original Walking Dead, where you have them and they kind of sneak in. Cool, because we don't get to see that kind of thing very often. So I did think that was sweet. And then the walker that pushes Althea into the pool, that was really cool, because that's something that we've never seen that before, underwater. At least, well, Fear did do the Abigail thing, so we might have seen some kind of stuff sort of like, but not like a swim pool like that. So that was really cool. And they went under the water, and he kind of comes in. It's like slow-mo because they're under the water and stuff. And it was pretty scary, too, for Althea. For a minute there, I was like, oh, my God, he's going to get her. And then Morgan comes in, and you see this, and then they come up, and Virginia and the others all stand there with guns. So it was cool. So it was really good. It was a really, really good episode. I'm going to give it a strong 9 out of 10. I think that, the momentum kind of coming through is with 13 is starting to come back with Logan and the others. And now is pretty much, I want to say, fully back on to finish up the season. It's a strong season with a really strong episode, or not a strong season, but a strong finish to the season, I'd say, because we can't defend, those after mid-season premiere episodes. Like there was a lot of episodes there that were really kind of not much happening, or adding on characters that it seems like you probably already have enough characters. I don't know. Maybe you have enough characters, maybe you don't. But at least I'm happy to see that 13 was good. 14 was really good, maybe the best episode of the season. One of them, really, really good episode here with 14, in my opinion anyway. And then we only have 2 left, and this season is over. So I'll be back soon for the predictions video for what we think is going to happen in episode 15, and then we'll discuss, of course, the season finale coming up. It looks like, obviously, one of those character deaths is probably going to be Grace. Will there be any in additional to that? I would think there probably would be, but we'll have to see, because there's just not that much time left. And does that mean that certain others are safe because Grace is going to be succumb to the radiation? You probably wouldn't have more than one person do that. So you guys can leave your comments below with that one too. And let me know how you're feeling. I think Fear came through with a strong episode here, but I know Fear is one that people love to hate on. So, and within reason, right? Sometimes, so as we've seen just recently. So let me know where you guys are at with this one. If Fear, at least for me, they came through with a strong episode here. What does that do for you? Or are you just kind of, has it lost so much momentum from before that when they do bring in a strong episode like this one, or at least a good episode, I think we can all agree it was at least good to strong, that it doesn't really matter, because it's sort of like it kind of flows, right? The episodes flow into each other, and so the momentum kind of changes as you have a lot of those episodes like that from the mid-season premiere onward. Now 13 and 14 are kind of coming back up, but it's like, is it too late? Are people still interested? And I'm interested to hear what you guys thought about this episode, because I did think it was really good, and but because of that loss of momentum earlier, does that impact it as well too? So let me know what you guys think. And I'm happy with this one, and I'm happy to see where things are kind of shaping up for this finale for season 5. At least it looks like the finale is going to be pretty good. And if nothing else, I think Fear season 5 will maybe go down if the finale is strong as like an okay season, but certainly some filler there, I guess you could say, or certainly some episodes there in the middle that were just kind of like kind of biding time to until gearing up to what we're seeing now, which is a pretty strong finale type of stuff. It's almost like maybe you want to move the Logan stuff like a couple episodes short or something, and bring it in there and kind of break it up. You see what I'm saying? Because there was just a string of episodes where it was like not much was happening. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this review, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and subscribe at the bottom left if you're new. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another favorite video. For the predictions for episode 15, it's Trev saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.